Hi, kindergarten families. I'm here to talk to you about how to set up your child's writing folder. We're asking that you get a two-pocket folder. The prongs are not necessary. We do not need the prongs for our writing folder. They're actually rather cumbersome for kindergarten. So if you could get them without, that would be good. It just needs two pockets. And you'll also need plain printer paper or just paper without lines. You could get a sketch pad from the Dollar Tree and use the paper from that if printer paper is too expensive. But for kindergarten writing, we're going to need blank paper. Okay. Now, if your learning was like mine, we didn't learn how to write an essay until we learned all of the spelling conventions, until we did all of the spelling tests weekly. That was like around second grade. But the Teachers College has considered that not a very successful way to teach children how to write, because we're teaching them spelling in isolation from where you use spelling, which is a story. So that is what all the pictures are about. We're going to teach the kids how to write a story and how to spell at the same time. And so that way they can have something to practice their spelling conventions that they learn on, or the phonics that they learn on. And everyone knows that you learn better when you do it yourself. If somebody ever tried to show you how to do something on the computer, or how to program something on your TV, and they won't let you do it, what's the first thing you say? Let me do it. Let me use the tablet. Let me hold the remote, because when you leave, I won't be able to do it by myself. So this is the same thing that goes with teaching kids anything, really, but I'm speaking about writing now. Teaching is showing and modeling and doing. It's not just telling. So for that reason, the students, the children will draw their stories. We're going to meet them where they are, and they can draw, but they could definitely tell us the stories. So writing is a lot of talking, because they have to tell us the story until they can write sentences. So last week we had them draw their object that they brought, and then the next day in our writing time, we asked them, well, where is this teddy bear? This teddy bear is floating in space. And that created the story around it. So then the students were like, oh, well, the teddy bear's in my room, because that's where my aunt gave it to me on my birthday. And here's where all the story comes in. So then the students start to draw all of the details around the story. And every day we add more and more to the same writing. And so that's where the folder comes in. So if they have just a bunch of random papers, and they can't find their work from the day before, the writer's workshop is going to be very hard to do. So what we need is a place to organize, like a folder, so that when they get done with writing and all they have is that teddy bear on that page, because their attention span is only 10 to 15 minutes, so we only wrote for 10 to 15 minutes. Then they have somewhere where they can put it, and we'll call this place the still working pocket. And then the next day, they can pull it out and add something else. Oh, you know what? I could draw more. Oh, you know what? I can label. And in kindergarten, at this point in the year, we're working with initial or first sounds. So they can hear bear. I can write a bear. I can write B for bear. If your student is writing more, is hearing more, then that's great. They might hear g. But don't be alarmed if your child does not hear the middle sound. That is developmental, and the middle sound, or that vowel sound, comes last. And we teach those vowels last when we start teaching them words, 3-letter words. So if they are sounding out rug with you and they say rug, RG, we're not going to penalize them. It's not going to be a trouble thing. We're just going to help them hear those other sounds that they have skipped when we are working with them, when the teacher is working with them, and when you are working with them. But when they are working alone, everything that they do is awesome because we want them to try and try their best. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for the process. So we want them to go through the process of adding more, drawing more on their pictures, trying to spell on their own, not trying to be perfect. If we set the bar for perfect, they won't try. And that's not what we want. So that's just a little explanation of Writer's Workshop, just so you know why in the world are these silly teachers having my kid draw so much. This is why. It's also helping with those fine motor skills that we're trying to develop. So it's kind of like a 3-in-1. So go ahead and set your child up with their 2-pocket folder and their blank paper so that we can get started on Writer's Workshop. Thank you for everything that you are doing to make virtual kindergarten a success, and happy writing.